Now we will learn how to create different types of blueprint, which is called as different blueprint classes. So what is these classes? So blueprint classes are the assets that live in the content browser. They exist entirely in your project's content folder. So the blueprint classes can inherit from any number of parent classes such as actor, character, object, and so on. The blueprint class parent determines what properties and capabilities the blueprint class will have by default. For example, this is the third person character. Now, this third person character has a parent class of this blueprint. So, if I just open this blueprint, you will find the parent class of this blueprint is the character. That is why this blueprint consists of this extra component, which is called as the character movement. Now, suppose I will open the blueprint that we have created before. So that blueprint was of class, the pawn class. And as you can see, there is no such additional blueprint or the component over here inside here. So suppose I create a new character blueprint. So click on here, blueprint class, and suppose I select a character class. If I open it, you will find that you have the same component that you had in the third person character. So it's because of the parent class is the character. So you can just delete this. Also, one thing to mention is this blueprint has to be inside the level. Then and only then we will be able to see this in the execution. Now, this is that blueprint inside the level. If I delete this blueprint from the level itself, we'll no longer be able to see those comments popping up because that blueprint is not present in the level. Hence, it is not executing. All right, let's have a look at all the types of blueprint classes. So just right click on here and click on the blueprint class. So if I just click on this button over here, then there'll be more types of blueprint that you can make. So there is in total 619 items. These are the parent classes that you can make. So it's a lot of blueprints, classes, types that you can make. So to create this blueprint class, either you can click on the new button in the context menu, add over here blueprint class, or you can just right click over here inside the content browser itself and create blueprint class from here. And over here, there are the most common types of blueprint classes that are used. And other than that, there is more blueprint classes that you can explore. So firstly, we have this actor blueprint class. So an actor is an object that can be placed or spawned in the world. And this actor can be static and it actually depends. So suppose let us create this actor underscore BP. So this is the naming convention of creating this blueprint. So we can write the name and then you can write underscore BP, or you can write like BP underscore actor class. Something like this you can write. So if you follow the naming convention, it will be easier for you to find out which are the blueprints. So this is the basic actor class. It doesn't have anything different from a basic blueprint. No additional components here. So even in the event graph, we have the begin play, the begin overlap, and the act and the eventing. Next up, so this actor blueprint, by default, the actor blueprint contain almost nothing but a blank scene component and a 3D transform. So if I open it again, if you have something like this, you can just click on open full blueprint editor. So as you can see, it consists of nothing. And you can add certain things inside this blueprint. So if you just click on add, so from here you can add some components. So to add things like static meshes, you can add the lights, you can add the collision volumes, you can add the components such as characters even, but we won't be the controllable character because this is just an actor class. So suppose I click on a static mesh. So this is a normal static mesh. From here, we need to select any static mesh. So here you can find every static mesh that you have in your project right now. So suppose I select this cube from here. So that will be placed in here. Now this is a static mesh. I can rename this as cube. And here's the actual static mesh. And we can change the material of this mesh from here. Suppose like this, or any other material you can choose. So once this is made, you can hit compile and save. And now you can bring this over here in your level. And you can see this is actually a blueprint. This is an actor blueprint consisting of a static mesh. So you can actually do something like click on edit. So on begin play means when I press the play button, what I want to do with this cube or with this blueprint itself consisting of this cube. So suppose, so we can add like a delay, or if I want to destroy this thing, destroy this cube. So we have a function for destroying this cube. So just search destroy actor, and which actor to be destroyed? This cube, which is the self, or you can just drag and drop this cube from here. It will automatically get the cube, and you can actually drag from here and select destroy component, which is this component. Delete this from here and connect this. So you can even do something like this. Save it. Now just look at what happens. So if I press play, it just gets destroyed because it is called right away when I press the play button. Now, what if I want to add like a few seconds gap between this? So you can actually add a function called as delay. So now between these two, I want to add a delay. So when I press the play button, just search delay. Now it will automatically connect here. So delay for how many seconds? Suppose 5 seconds I want to add. So compile and save. Let's have a look. So now I press play. Now after 5 seconds, it will be destroyed. Something like this. Pretty interesting. Now we can actually destroy the whole component and the individual component. So what I showed before is like just use destroy actor. So this will destroy the whole blueprint. Now suppose it will do the same thing right now. Like after 5 seconds, this actor will get destroyed. Now suppose inside my blueprint, I have multiple actors. So like we have a sphere as well. Suppose, so I can actually move this sphere. Like here, I can add a material to this sphere, maybe like this. Then I can duplicate this sphere, maybe over here. Add a different color to this. So suppose I have these many actors right now, these many components. Now, inside our event graph, after 5 seconds, it will destroy the whole blueprint itself. So let's get back to here. So right now, this is what it looks like. If I press play, you can bring this player start to the left. So after 5 seconds, all of these will be destroyed. So like this. Now, what if you want to destroy just these spheres and keep the main cube? So for this, you will actually bring both of these spheres, search destroy for this sphere. You cannot directly connect this because, as you can see, that this destroy actor is target is actor, and this destroy target is actor component, which is this is the component. So you can connect this here, and you can also bring the other sphere from here. Let's check if this thing can take two components. Yes, it does take two components. Or let me showcase. So first it will destroy sphere 1 and destroy component here. This one, let's have a look at adding a delay. Like a 1 second delay, I can add, connect here. So firstly, it will destroy the sphere 1. Next, after 1 second, it will destroy another sphere. So this sphere 1 is the orange and the other one is the green. So first the orange one will go like here. So let's have a look. Press play. So after 5 seconds, this will disappear, and after 1 second, that will disappear. Just get destroyed. So like that, it's pretty interesting. You can use. So if I just remove the delay. So after this, quickly it will destroy the other one within frames of seconds. So it will look like both of them are destroying at the same time. But there is minute time difference between this, very less. You won't be able to see it. So now after 5 seconds, both of them will get destroyed, something like this. Or you can just like delete this from here and put both of them in here. So both of them will get destroyed after 5 seconds. So let's have a look. So now we'll get the same output. Just amazing. So that is how you can use these functions in these blueprints in very interesting manners. Okay, let's have a look at other kinds of blueprints that we have. Right click and select blueprint class. So next up we have a pawn class. A pawn is an actor. So this is also an actor class, but it has some difference. But it can be possessed and it can receive input from the controller. It means, now suppose I create a pawn class over here. So I can write BP underscore, press F2 to rename it. It's a shortcut. So BP underscore, right, pawn class. So something like this. So what's the difference between an actor and a pawn class? So the pawn class, when you open it, it looks same with the actor class. If I just open side by side, so this one as well. If I just open side by side, you will see everything is same. There's no difference. But the only difference is this pawn class can actually be possessed with the player controller. Means we have a character class, and suppose we want, you might have seen in few games, if you want to control some other thing, like you are controlling a player right now, but if you want to control like a car, so what will you do? So you will actually create the car with the pawn class, and the reason you created the car with the pawn class is because you want to control the car next, not to control the character. So hence this pawn class is used. So we'll be learning in the future lectures how to actually possess the pawn blueprint from the character blueprint. So right now we are controlling this character. Now what if I want to control this cube, or what if I want to control this sphere from here? So those cube and those spheres should be inside that pawn class, not should be made with the actor blueprint. So the actor blueprints are just static there. They are not actually used for controlling. So hence the pawn class is used for actually controlling that everything inside this. So suppose like we can actually copy all three from here and we can just paste it directly. Simple as that. So the only difference between both of these are that we can control the sphere, this one, all the things we can control if they are inside the pawn class. The actor class is just static. We cannot control them with the controller. So just keep in mind the difference between this actor class and the pawn class. All right, let's move ahead. So next up, let us create a blueprint class of a character. So VP underscore character. Right. Yeah. So as you can see, when you create a character blueprint, the character blueprint is a type of pawn that includes the ability to walk around. So let's start again. So we have the actor class, which is static, nothing happens. Then we have the pawn class, where we can attach a controller to it and we can control the sphere or every component from here. Next comes the character class. The character class is a type of pawn class. Yep. And it includes the ability to walk. So this thing is added in the character. So this is a type of this, and this is a type of this. So that's how it is linked in the backend. But the parent class, you can see, so the actor parent class has an actor, the pawn class has a pawn parent, and the character class has a character parent class. So this is a type of the pawn, but it has some extra component which helps you to control this character and walk around with it. So suppose I add the same cube from here. So I get this cube, paste it over here. Now we have over here something called as colliders and meshes. So that thing we will learn in the future. But for now, we can just add like a cube in here. Or you can even add a skeletal mesh in here. So we already know the difference between the static and the skeletal mesh. The skeletal mesh is something which can have an animation because it has a skeleton. So that's why the character by default has a mesh, and you can add a skeletal mesh in here. So we have all those skeletal meshes from here. So all those things can be added inside this character class, and actually we can control it from here itself. Now, next up is, let's have a look at, we'll get back to the character blueprints in some time, but for now, let's have a look at all the other blueprint classes. So click here. Next, we have this player controller. So the player controller is an actor responsible for controlling a pawn used by the player. So if you do not create a player controller blueprint, it is by default created inside the Unreal Engine. So suppose I open this up. So this also, nothing much is different from here. So this is a controller class. So as I was saying, the actor cannot be controlled. The pawn class can be controlled. So for the control, we need a controller class, right? So this can be that controller class to control this pawn class and even to control this character class. But if you do not create this, there's by default a player controller inside the project itself. So for now, there's no need to create this player controller. Let's have a look at some more. Then comes the game mode base. So when you head over here to the world settings, you will find there's like game mode override. So if I just search, so with the template, this has already been created. It is with the template. So the game mode base defines the game being played. It adds the rules to the game, such as scoring and game types. All those things can be defined. If I double click to open, so as I said, it consists of the rules, how the game can be played. So this thing is then used over here, the game mode. Inside the world settings, it can be set. So those were some commonly used blueprint classes.